Hello everyone, let me introduce our research. The topic is GDR theory to explore the relationship between employee experience and employee engagement, taking job demands as the moderating variable. As our contents. Number 1 is introduction, number 2 is literature review, number 3 is methodology, number 4 is result, number 5 is conclusion and suggestion. First, we should introduce part 1, the effective utilization of human resource as a crucial factor for business to maintain a long-term competitive advantage and sustainable management. 2. According to the job demand resource model proposed by Becker and Demerotin in 2007. Part 3. Based on Crawford et al.'s assertion, explores the moderating role of challenge demand and hindrance demand on the relationship between employee experience and employee engagement. 2. Literature review. Employee experience is 3 parts. Part 1 is physical environment. Part 2 is technologic environment. Part 3 is cultural environment. And these researchers in 2002 have a different interpretation of employee engagement. Consider it has a positive, ambitious, and work-related feeling, namely a psychological state of vigor, dedication, and absorption. And this researcher in 2004 pointed out that providing work resource can meet employee needs and enhance employee engagement. And there are two main mechanisms of impact. Number 1 is energy depletion process. Number 2 is motivational promotion process. And the two researchers in 2007 integrated the original bidirectional pathway into a single pathway, and arguing that job demand will moderate the relationship between job resource and employee engagement. They study extend this theoretical framework. And next, this study views job resource as intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic resources are those that enhance employee job autonomy or competence. Extrinsic resources help employees effectively achieve their work goal. Therefore, this study considers an ideal employee experience as one of the contents of job resource, extending the theory to the topic of employee experience. And they study adopt the viewpoint proposed by this researcher in 2010, categorizing job demands into challenge demand and hindrance demand. And challenge demand provoke positive, proactive attitude. Hindrance demand provoke negative and passive attitude, and two job demand have different effect on employee engagement. And this is our research framework: employee experience to employee engagement, moderated by challenge job demands and hindrance job demands. And hypothesis 1 is when employee experience is high, engagement is higher compared to when employee experience is low. Hypothesis 2, there is an interaction effect between employee experience and job demand on employee engagement. When employee experience is high, adding high challenge job demand result is higher employee engagement compared to adding high hindrance job demands. And it is a three part in our in this study implementation procedure. And step 1 is collect sample and snowball sampling method and divergent URLs. Online questionnaire. Number 2, before completing the questionnaire, we should inform consent form in academic purpose, anonymous, and participants have the right to withdraw in any unconditionally situation. 3. After completing the questionnaire, we collecting an exam and delete invalid questionnaire. And it was anticipated that more than 176 valid questionnaires would be selected from the collected response. And it is our research participant. More than 1 year of work experience. A minimum of 176 participants was necessary. And number 2, ensure that the participant were affected by the story manipulations. There were 3 questions each for employee experience and work demands. If any one of these 6 questions was not passed, the entire questionnaire was discarded. And part 3, return questionnaire. A total of 213 questionnaires were collected in this study, 18 of which didn't pass the verification question and were thus deleted, result in 212 valid questionnaires. And it is our experimental design in 2 different graphs. And this one is hindrance demands, and this one is challenging demands. In our measurement method is demographic variable, include gender, age, education background, and work experience. Employee experience, and this research in 2017 developed an employee experience scale consisting of 70 items: physical environment, technological environment, cultural environment, used a 5-point Likert scale. They study employee the Chinese version of the scale translated by this researcher in 2019. And job demand, this study utilized the job stressor scale and developed by this researcher in 2020, comprising 11 items, include 6 assess challenging stress and 5 assess hindrance stress. Use 5-point Likert scale. Include the challenging hindering stressors subscale has high internal consistency Cornbus alpha. The composite reliability is also high and a good construct validity. And employee engagement, they study adopt the work engagement scale developed by this researcher in 2002, consisting of 70 items, include vigor with 6 items, dedication with 5 items, and absorption with 6 items. Use 7-point Likert scale, and it has a high internal consistency Cornbus alpha. And the CFA employee engagement. The analysis of this overall fit indices confirms that the construct validity is within an acceptable range. Additionally, the standardized factor loading of the scale item range from 0.802 to 0.016, indicating a strong relationship between observed variable and the latent variable. And this is the table is our and is the study's correlation analysis. And this table is the impact of the employee experiments and job demands on employees' engagement. And next one, the part 5 is conclusion and suggestion. Theoretical implication is about 3 parts. The part 1 is revalidating the employee experience has a positive impact on engagement. In part 5, the conclusion and the suggestion, theoretical implication. Part 1, we should revalidating the employee experience has a positive impact on engagement. And part 2, we should contact the contextual factor that hinders work demand need to be considered. Part 3, improving employee experience and the balancing type of work demands are crucial for boosting engagement. And part 5 is conclusion and suggestion, theoretical implication, and about the 2 parts. And the part 1 is invest resource in employee experience. Part 2 is it is important to recognize the impact of different type of work demand. And the last but not least, generalize and common method variance, in-depth exploration of variable, and improvement of sampling methods. Thank you.